Welcome, my name is Bernd Rücker from Camunda, and today I want to talk about why I think that workflow, process automation, BPMN and all these kind of things should be in the toolbox of every Java developer. I myself have a background of around 10 years doing workflow projects in the Java field. I want to start with the first example. This is Maria. If we get an inbound invoice, Maria scans them, it gets a PDF, it gets mailed to a mailbox, and then we basically receive the mail from there, and then we start a process. This means I get some entry in a task list that I should approve the invoice. I do that with a form provided from the process, and then basically the process moves on. In the background, we really modeled the whole process. You can see that here graphically, and you can see, for example, what we get from the engine as well as these, for example, the image and where we were in the process, like the path we walked through, where we are at the moment, and how it goes on. This process model is not only a picture, it's an XML in the background, a BPMN2 XML. This can be interpreted by the process engine, so it basically can keep track of the human workflow management, these kind of task lists, or service orchestration, so it can basically call some service automatically, and maybe I can even report some cycle times or whatever. The BPMN2 is a global standard. It's pretty interesting to have a look at. I think it's a good time at the moment. It's pretty mature. You can see here that you have a lot of opportunities or a lot of possibilities to express things, like we wait for something in that case, and if that doesn't happen, we even can escalate, and we can do things in parallel and all these kind of things. So we can do a lot. The BPMN engines out there can execute that, at least most of them, and that makes it pretty powerful. We have a lot of showcases for that available. We do that basically to pull out the process from your Java code, because you could go ahead and write everything in code, like the escalation, you write an EJB timer or grun or whatever. But the interesting idea is, if we later on want to change the process, we need to see how it really works at the moment, and this gets possible with the process model. It also makes it possible to talk to the business to basically improve requirements engineering on that level. And I think that allows us to do much more agile approaches, to have the process more easily changed. I think that's a very important point. But if you look at BPM, there were done a lot of mistakes in the past, like process documentation. Like I document all the processes of my company. I'm not sure if that's only a German idea, but it basically doesn't have a big value. On the execution level, the problem was the vendor sold some kind of magic process engine. You just throw in the process model and then everything works, like the human task management, and your SOA is attached without doing much work. You have a cockpit, you just adjust something, then it works better. It's a good idea, but it doesn't work. The same with the Lego idea of SOA. SOA is much more than just Lego building blocks. The whole thing was pretty vendor driven in the past. I think maybe that was the biggest problem. Like ESB and BPM suites are huge, and you have a lot of power in there, which you often you do not need in your project, and that makes it very unhandy sometimes. Our vision is completely different. What we envision is BPM plus Java on a very concrete, hands-on way. So we want to bring the BPM stuff, which I think is important, to the Java world and make it accessible there. We can do that on a very concrete level. So in the code, it looks like inject process engine. Process engine is an API, so you could do like starting a new process instance, querying a task list, and all these kind of things very easy on a Java level. You can inject that via CDI, via Spring. You can build it yourself in Java, in a JUnit test, in a standalone Java program. So you have basically all possibilities. In the process model, you can call Java code very easy, again via expression, or you can just attach a Java class or these kind of things. So in both directions, it's easy to call to combine a process model with Java. On the tooling level, we have an Eclipse IDE integration. So you can just open up the process model there in your IDE. You can search for classes or whatever. So you have a pretty much in your normal working environment for Java. I think that's the most important point here. And then we can leverage the whole Java or Java Enterprise ecosystem, which is really powerful. We have really good infrastructure out there. We add a BPMN engine, a process engine, to that infrastructure, and then you can build on top of it whatever you want. Basically, you have a lot of power because the Java Cosmos is that rich. Concretely, we have the so-called Fox platform embedded in your application server. It could be every Java EE application server. And then in your deployment, like your var or your EAR, you just add the BPMN2 process model, the XML, and the metadata file. It's basically the same like JPA, like entities or these kind of things. If you want to get started, we have a open source community version. It's Apache license, so you're free to do whatever you want with it. If you want to go enterprise, we have a supported version and all these additional stuff you need, and we have a bit of more, additional tooling around that. But you can download it today on camunda.com Fox. I think the most important thing is at the moment it's a really good time to start. BPMN2 is mature, it's accepted, the engines are mature, and with the whole ecosystem you can really build powerful stuff without having to go into much infrastructure. So start with it and don't build your own engine. If you have any workflow problem, go for that. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope I get you motivated. The best is go to the website, get started, download the stuff, download a showcase, click it through, try it yourself, and have fun. Thanks for listening.